What's up, family? We're back with another video, and today we're reading Numbers 28, 29, and 30. So let's get into it. Numbers 28, daily offerings. Then the Lord spoke to Moses. He said, "Give this command to the Israelites. Tell them to be sure to give the grain offerings and sacrifices to me at the right time as sweet-smelling gifts. These are gifts that they must give to the Lord. Every day they must give 2 lambs that are 1 year old. There must be nothing wrong with them. Offer one of the lambs in the morning and the other lamb just before dark. Also give a grain offering of 8 cups of fine flour mixed with 1 quart of olive oil." They started giving the daily offerings at Mount Sinai as sweet-smelling gifts to the Lord. The people must also give the drink offerings to go with the gifts. They must give 1 quart of wine with every lamb. Pour their drink offering on the altar in the holy place. This is a gift to the Lord. Offer the second lamb just before dark. Offer it just as the morning offering. Also give the drink offering that goes with it. This will be a sweet-smelling gift to the Lord. Sabbath offerings. On the Sabbath, you must give 2 lambs that are 1 year old. There must be nothing wrong with them. You must also give a grain offering of 16 cups of fine flour mixed with olive oil and a drink offering. This is a special offering for the day of rest. This offering is in addition to the regular daily offering and drink offering. Monthly meetings. On the first day of each month, you will offer a special burnt offering to the Lord. This offering will be 2 male bulls, 1 ram, and 7 lambs that are 1 year old. There must be nothing wrong with them. With each bull, you must give a grain offering of 24 cups of fine flour mixed with olive oil. And with the ram, you must give a grain offering of 16 cups of fine flour mixed with olive oil. Also give a grain offering of 8 cups of fine flour mixed with olive oil with each lamb. This will be a sweet-smelling gift to the Lord. The drink offering will be 2 quarts of wine with each bull, 1 1/4 quarts of wine with the ram, and 1 quart of wine with each lamb. This is the burnt offering that must be offered each month of the year. In addition to the regular daily burnt offering and drink offering, you must also give 1 male goat to the Lord. That goat will be a sin offering. Passover. The Lord's Passover will be on the 14th day of the first month. The festival of unleavened bread begins on the 15th day of that month. This festival lasts for 7 days. The only bread you can eat is bread made without yeast. You must have a special meeting on the first day of this festival. You will not do any work on that day. You will give burnt offerings to the Lord. The burnt offerings will be 2 bulls, 1 ram, and 7 lambs that are 1 year old. There must be nothing wrong with them. You must also give a grain offering of 24 cups of fine flour mixed with olive oil with each bull, and 16 cups of fine flour mixed with oil with the ram, and 8 cups of fine flour mixed with oil for each lamb. You must also give a male goat as a sin offering to make you pure. You must give these offerings in addition to the morning burnt offerings that you give every day. In this way, each day for 7 days you must bring the food that is offered by fire. The smell of these offerings will please the Lord. You must give these offerings in addition to the daily burnt offering and the drink offering that goes with it. Then on the 7th day of this festival, you will have another special meeting. You will not do any of their work that day. Festival of Harvest. The first day of the Festival of Harvest is the day you bring the first of your new crops and give them as a grain offering to the Lord. At that time, you must also call a special meeting. You must not do any work on that day. You must offer a burnt offering as a sweet-smelling gift to the Lord. You must offer 2 bulls, 1 ram, and 7 lambs that are 1 year old. There must be nothing wrong with them. You must also give 24 cups of fine flour mixed with oil with each bull, and 16 cups with each ram, and 8 cups with each lamb. You must also sacrifice a male goat to make you pure. You must give these offerings in addition to the daily burnt offerings and the grain offering you give with them. Be sure there is nothing wrong with the animals or the drink offerings that you give with them. Numbers 29, Festival of Trumpets. There will be a special meeting on the first day of the 7th month. You will not do any work on that day. That is the day for blowing the trumpets. You will offer burnt offerings. Their smell will please the Lord. You will offer 1 bull, 1 ram, and 7 lambs that are 1 year old. There must be nothing wrong with them. You will also offer 24 cups of fine flour mixed with oil, with the bull, 16 cups with the ram, and 8 cups with each of the 7 lambs. Also offer a male goat as a sin offering to make you pure. These offerings are in addition to the new moon sacrifice and its grain offering. And they are in addition to the daily sacrifice and its grain offerings and drink offerings. These must be done according to the rules. They will be sweet smelling gifts to the Lord, the Day of Atonement. There will be a special meeting on the 10th day of the 7th month. During that day you must not eat any food, and you must not do any work. You will offer burnt offerings. Their smell will please the Lord. You must offer 1 bull, 1 ram, and 7 lambs that are 1 year old. There must be nothing wrong with them. You must also offer 24 cups of fine flour mixed with olive oil with the bull, 16 cups with the ram, and 8 cups with each of the 7 lambs. You will also offer 1 male goat as a sin offering. This will be in addition to the sin offering for the Day of Atonement. This will also be in addition to the daily sacrifice and its grain offerings and drink offerings. Festival of Shelters. There will be a special meeting on the 15th day of the 7th month. You must not do any work on that day. You must celebrate a special festival for the Lord for 7 days. You will offer burnt offerings and sweet smelling gifts to the Lord. You will offer 13 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs that are 1 year old. There must be nothing wrong with them. You must also offer 24 cups of fine flour mixed with oil with each of the 13 bulls, 16 cups with each of the 2 rams, and 8 cups with each of the 14 lambs. You must also offer 1 male goat. This must be in addition to the daily sacrifice and its grain offerings and drink offerings. On the 2nd day of the festival, you must offer 12 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs that are 1 year old. There must be nothing wrong with them. You must also give the right amount of grain and drink offerings with the bulls, rams, and lambs. You must also offer 1 male goat as a sin offering. This must be in addition to the daily sacrifice and its grain offerings and drink offerings. On the 3rd day of this festival, you must offer 11 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs that are 1 year old. There must be nothing wrong with them. You must also give the right amount of grain and drink offerings with the bulls, rams, and lambs. You must also give 1 goat as a sin offering. This must be in addition to the daily sacrifice and its grain offerings and drink offerings. On the 4th day of this festival, you must offer 10 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs that are 1 year old. There must be nothing wrong with them. You must also give the right amount of grain and drink offerings with the bulls, rams, and lambs. You must also give 1 male goat as a sin offering. This must be in addition to the daily sacrifice and its grain offerings and drink offerings. On the 5th day of this festival, you must offer 9 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs that are 1 year old. There must be nothing wrong with them. You must also give the right amount of grain and drink offerings with the bulls, rams, and lambs. You must also give 1 male goat as a sin offering. This must be in addition to the daily sacrifice and its grain offerings and drink offerings. On the 6th day of this festival, you must offer 8 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs that are 1 year old. There must be nothing wrong with them. You must also give the right amount of grain and drink offerings for the bulls, rams, and lambs. You must also give 1 male goat as a sin offering. This must be in addition to the daily sacrifice and its grain offerings and drink offerings. On the 7th day of this festival, you must offer 7 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs that are 1 year old. There must be nothing wrong with them. You must also give the right amount of grain and drink offerings with the bulls, rams, and lambs. You must also give 1 male goat as a sin offering. This must be in addition to the daily sacrifice and its grain offerings and drink offerings. The 8th day of this festival is a very special meeting for you. You must not do any work on that day. You must offer a burnt offering as a sweet smelling gift to the Lord. You must offer 1 bull, 1 ram, and 7 lambs that are 1 year old. There must be nothing wrong with them. You must also give the right amount of grain and drink offerings with the bull, ram, and lambs. You must also give 1 male goat as a sin offering. This must be in addition to the daily sacrifice and its grain offerings and drink offerings. At the special festivals, you must bring your burnt offerings, grain offerings, drink offerings, and fellowship offerings. You must give these offerings to the Lord. They are in addition to any small special gift you might want to give him, and any offering that is part of a special promise you make. Moses told the Israelites everything the Lord had commanded him. Numbers 30. Special promises. Moses spoke with all the leaders of the Israelite tribes and told them about these commands from the Lord. If a man makes a special promise to the Lord or makes a promise with an oath, he must not break his promise. He must do everything he said he would do. A young woman might still be living in her father's house, and that young woman might make a special promise to give something to the Lord. If her father hears about the promise and agrees, the young woman must do what she promised. But if her father hears about the promise and does not agree, she is free from her promise. She does not have to do what she promised. Her father stopped her, so the Lord will forgive her. A woman might make a special promise to give something to the Lord and then get married. If the husband hears about the promise and does not object, the woman must do what she promised. But if the husband hears about the promise and refuses to let her keep her promise, the wife does not have to do what she promised. Her husband broke the promise. He did not let her do what she said, so the Lord will forgive her. A widow or a divorced woman might make a special promise. If she does, she must do exactly what she promised. A married woman might make a promise to give something to the Lord. If her husband hears about the promise and lets her keep her promise, she must do exactly what she promised. She must give everything she promised. But if her husband hears about the promise and refuses to let her keep the promise, she does not have to do what she promised. It doesn't matter what she promised. It doesn't matter what she promised to do if her husband is against it. This ends her duty to do it, and the Lord will forgive her. A married woman might promise to give something to the Lord, or she might promise to do without something, or she might make some other special promise to God. The husband can stop any of these promises, and the husband can let her keep any of these promises. How does the husband let his wife keep her promises? If she hears about the promises and does not stop them, the woman must do exactly what she promised. But if the husband hears about the promises and stops them, she is responsible for breaking her promises. These are the commands that the Lord gave to Moses. These are the commands about a man and his wife, and about a father and his daughter, who is still young and living at home in his father's house, in her father's house. All right, and that's Numbers 28, 29, and 30. So my first thoughts when it comes to 28 is I'm just trying to get an understanding how they was able to keep up with all of these laws and rules. Like, did they have a sheet to say, okay, today you need to offer this many lambs, this many rams, and this many goats? And also, they had to be living in abundance at that time to be able to give on a daily basis all of these offerings and sacrifices. Like, that just really blows my mind. They had to be sitting on rams, lambs, and goats to be able to continue offering these things. And then, like, a lot of it was saying on top of the daily offering that you have to give. So they had to give offerings on top of daily offerings that they had to give to the temple and to the priests, which is just so mind-blowing and interesting that they had so much to be able to give. Okay, and then so in Numbers 29 talks about the festivals and the Day of Atonement, and other festivals of shelters. And I mean, this is basically just giving you an understanding of what God requested of them and what they had to do. And then this special promises section in Numbers 30 was just really interesting, because it's like if the woman or the daughter made a promise, and if the husband or father heard about it and if he let it go, then she had to keep the promise. But if he heard it and he rejected it, then she didn't have to keep the promise, and she was forgiven from God. It's really interesting in this section, just trying to get an understanding on, like, I guess, what does it mean when it talks about a promise? Like, what is it referring to? And in one sentence inside of that, or one scripture inside of there, it was saying, no matter what the promise is. So it was just interesting that basically the husband or the father validates the promise, and that dictates whether she's able to keep the promise, or she can be free from the promise. It's really interesting. But yeah, that's all we have for today. Hope y'all have a blessed day. Hope this served y'all. And as we continue to get deeper and deeper into the word, my prayer is that it reads to your heart, and that this help you gain a better understanding and more wisdom into, right now we just going kind of through the history in the Old Testament. But I hope as we continue to walk through this thing and see the full scripture and context, that you really gain an understanding and gain a desire to read for yourself. But that's all I have for today. Peace.